Alright, hello guys, and welcome back to another episode on the channel. So on this one, we are going to be finally addressing the issue with the, in this box here, the issue with the front fuel tank. He did go ahead and just order new stuff, so we're going to open up our boxes. The other one is here. New fuel pump. Nice. I haven't opened this one yet, but this one is the tank. So let's get this tank opened and check it out. Make sure it is the right one for what we're doing here. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen, a brand new tank. Looks very, very good, very much like the one we already, or the one that's in there, which is good. That's always good. That's awesome. The only thing that that is very obvious is we definitely need to paint this tank. So what we are going to do is we're going to paint it. What we'll do is I will mask off all of this, mask this, all from the inside, except for probably this one. I'll mask the edge here, probably from this lip right here. I'll mask everything out. From this one, I'll go in through this hole and mask the inside, or maybe I'll just stuff this paper down in there, and same with this, mask it, because we do not want all this raw metal underneath the truck, especially where this truck is going. So it is going up to New York, where it is going to get rusty in a hurry, so we've got to put some good paint on this thing. So yeah, we got to make sure she's well taken care of, and we will do that. But first things first, we got to get this old stuff out, and then we need to investigate the tank selector valve to see which one this truck has, so we can get that ordered too. Yeah, so beautiful tank. It does have like grease or oil or whatever to prevent it from rusting as it is. So we will need to, of course, do a primer, and we'll clean it. We'll wax and grease remove it. So this weekend I got to go pick up some primer, got to go pick up some more paint, because I don't think I have any more of the Blitz black paint. Yeah. So we should be able to knock this out this weekend. I want to run to the junkyard this weekend because there is a Cobalt that I found the same wheels on, and it looks like it has good tires too, oddly enough. So what we're going to do is run to the junkyard and try to get those. But yeah, with that being said, let's hop underneath this truck and get that old tank out for the second time. Alright guys, we got our tank out. I was looking around for the tank selector valve, and I assume it's supposed to go somewhere in here, but it almost looks like, so this one here is the return, is my assumption, and it goes right here to this Y. But even if it isn't, it goes, all three of those go to these Ys, and they all run there's the filter, those all run up to the engine block. I'm not really sure where this guy runs. There's a hard line. So maybe it's on this side? I wonder where that hard line runs to. But I would expect the valve to be here, because it would need to be at the point of when they branch out, because that one runs all the way to the back and right up there into the top of the other tank. So I'm going to assume that it's always going to drain into the front tank. So if you want to, you have to run, if you want to run one tank, by the looks of how this is set up, you have to run the front tank, which is insane, to be honest. But I don't know. I don't make the rules here. Let me see if I can't get over here a little further. That hard line runs along this edge. And up to the front. I'm going to follow that hard line. Maybe it'll lead me somewhere of importance. Otherwise, I don't think this has that valve, and it's just always going to dump into it until it overflows. It's always going to dump into the first tank until it overflows, and then it will dump to the second tank, I think is how that's going to work. Hard line goes right up through there. Yeah, it must be a venting line. That one. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research to see if I can't figure out where this thing is before I can decide if we have one, if we need one, which one to get. So with that being said, I will catch up with you guys when we figure that out. Alright guys, so we are going to continue off this video of the front tank on the truck. So you know that we have a new tank to replace this one. So that tank did come in raw metal. So what we got to do is we got to clean up they send it with like a film or a coating on it. We got to clean that off. We're going to sand it for better adhesion, and then we are going to paint it, because we need good strong paint on there, because it is going to New York and there is salt and stuff. So basically we're going to do this in 2 steps. We are going to do the bottom of the tank one day and then the top of the tank the next day, because I just don't have the ability to do everything without making a mess. So that's what we're going to do. We're not in that big a hurry. It's not a big deal. I'm going to throw the bottom in here because I actually did it yesterday. And then we're going to do the top of the tank today. So I'm going to throw that in somewhere in here. But this is what we ended up with. We got a really nice coat on here. It is pretty smooth. This is literally my brush falling apart, so it's strands from the brush. But it came out really well. We did 2 coats of this stuff, chassis saber paint, super durable stuff. Like I said, they use it for chassis, so it's got to be, you know, pretty strong, thick stuff, you know, for stone chips, etc., road grime, whatever. So that's what we did it with. I have had really good luck with this stuff. I actually used it on that guy. I think I used it on, I built the rear suspension bracing. I think I used it on that, if I remember correctly. But this is the stuff we're going to be using. A little chassis saber paint. It takes forever to dry. So this was done maybe 12 hours ago. So it's pretty good. It does recommend a full day, but we are going to flip it over because I've already done 2 coats, 3 hours between each coat. And this is stuff you don't want to put on too thick, or else you'll run into other issues, take forever to dry, etc. So a couple steps to this. First step is we're going to take some paper towels and try to get the bulk of the film off, grease, etc., whatever you want to call it. And then from there we are going to sand it with, I think I used 400 grit last night. Yep, 400 grit. And just kind of scuff everything just so that we get better adhesion. And then we are going to use our wax and grease remover, and then we're going to paint it. Didn't take that long yesterday, really not a difficult process. Totally worth the time, because it's a brand new tank. Why would you, this should last longer than this truck, so there's no reason for that, as long as you maintain good fuel, drive it regularly, etc. So let's get to the top side of this tank. Like I said, we're going to start with wiping it down and whatnot, so yeah. Alright guys, so all the things you will need. You'll need your sandpaper, you'll need a paintbrush, you'll need a stir stick, because at least this is all assuming that you're going to use this stuff, this chassis paint, and not spray paint, whatever. You're going to need paintbrush, obviously, because it's not a spray can. You're going to want a stir stick. I'm going to use the screwdriver because it's broken. I broke the tip off of it, so now it's my permanent stir stick. I'm going to use this as a stir stick because it recommends that you stir it and don't shake it. The stuff that settles to the bottom is pretty thick, so you really do need to shake it to get, or to stir it to get all of that stuff mixed back in to it. You're definitely going to want some gloves because this stuff stains. I've got it all over my hands, even though I did wear gloves. And I got it on my arm, running down my arm, so it does not scrub off. You will have to remove layers of skin to get it off. It's one of those paints that wears off, so you definitely want gloves. And of course, the only thing that I'm missing here is my paper towel to take this off, and forgot to grab it, but my wax and grease remover, wax and tar remover, same thing. So that's pretty much it. Microfiber towel for your wax and grease remover, and that's gonna about do it. The only thing that I'm not 100% sure about is I may tape off this section because I don't really want it inside. I may tape underneath here because I don't really want that inside. But I guess, I mean, it doesn't really matter. This isn't going to get any fuel, so it'll dry. So I may not tape that off. And then this, I'd like to get basically to this inner ridge. I want taped, or want paint. So we, like I said, we want to get as much of it covered in this stuff as possible to reduce the likelihood of rust developing on this thing, or prolong it as long as possible, because eventually it's going to happen. So like I said, we're going to get to wiping this thing down. sanding, painting, all of that stuff. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so now that we have everything sanded, as you can see, it's all scuffed up. That's all we're trying to do here, scuff it up. We're just trying to give the paint something to stick to. But after you get done sanding, at least I like to clean up. Wash your hands, do your wax and grease remover, all that, because remember, the quality of your paint is all about your prep. So you want to make sure things are clean, because basically we're at that point where nothing is going to get really dirty again, because there's no more sanding, there's no more any of that stuff. So we wax and grease remover it. I've already washed my hands, and after we're done, we'll probably wax and grease remove it twice, because it had that like film on it, just to make sure that we've got everything, and then wait for that to dry, and then it is time to paint. So without further ado, let's get to wiping it down, and then again, and then painting. To go back through, and there was a sticker here, but we took care of that. I forgot to get the adhesive off the first time I did it, so I've already went back, washed my hands, all that good stuff. We wiped it down. We're gonna wipe it down another time quickly, wait for that to dry, and then it's paint time. And just like that, we have our first coat on. Came out pretty good. I like it. Like I said, we've now got to wait 3 hours before we can put on that second coat. So let the countdown begin. So with that being said, we are going to put this video on hold. We're going to give this 3 hours. We'll be back, put a second coat on, and then we will be done with this for the time being. I think while we wait, we are going to tackle maybe the fuel pump, putting it onto the sending unit. Not really sure if I want to do that yet or not, because the fumes, I don't want the gas to just be open and the fumes kind of collect in the garage. So I may wait to do that tomorrow when we can seal this tank up. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it. I think because all that gas is new in that tank, I think I'm going to siphon it out and filter it, and then we're going to go back into the tank because it's good gas. We'll just filter it. I think these cans come with a filter in them, so I may do that. I may siphon it out right into this tank, and then from this tank put it back into that tank, and then do that until the other tank is empty. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I think that's the plan. So I may, like I said, wait until tomorrow, because I don't want to put that fuel pump together and have that fuel tank be open all night, all afternoon, and whatnot. So I think I'm going to wait and do that tomorrow. It's still going to be part of this video, but by then this tank will be completely done, and we should be able to get the fuel pump done. We should be able to have this tank ready to be put in this thing. So that's exciting. Very, very excited about that. The only thing that we will need to do is to kind of move everything over. We need to move that filler neck tube over. We need to move this kind of like stone guard over. Yeah, so with that being said, we will catch up with you guys for coat number 2. Guys, and just like that, coat number 2, a little smudgy. Sorry for that whole time lapse, probably a little smudgy. Coat number 2 is done. So with that being said, we should be able to get that fuel pump switched out and get this tank and all those other accessories switched over and get this tank installed in this truck tomorrow. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys tomorrow, hopefully with a bunch more parts also, because I plan on going to the junkyard in the morning, because that guy over there might be getting a new front bumper. I found one in the right color at the junkyard. Went there on Friday. Hopefully it is still there tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Crossed. So with that being said, catch you guys in, tomorrow.